Welcome to Maple Grove High School for Northwest Suburban Conference Wrestling. It's the opening match of a tri-meet here tonight, and it is a rivalry night. It's Osseo coming in with a record of 10-9, taking on the host Crimson, who have won 4 matches so far this season. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox. John Lauritsen joins me here once again this season for some prep wrestling. And John, Osseo's got a kind of a resurgent program going for them right now. They're not quite in the top 12 in Class 3A, but they're in that lean and mean category. They're receiving votes basically for the top 12, and they got some studs along the way. You know, they've definitely got an opportunity to send some kids to state for sure, and maybe place pretty high.
Yeah, and kind of looking at the Guillotine, which is kind of the high school wrestling publication everybody kind of seems to go to year, and they do a lot of in-depth research on teams, and Osseo's got some guys ranked, especially in the upper weights, which they're names that we've kind of watched over the years, and they've gotten better and better, and like Jacob Meisner, and some of these guys that are getting to that point now where they've got a few years underneath for experience, and now they're at that point where they're not just thinking about making it to state, but maybe they like to push this team in that direction too, although this is a tough section for Osseo with, say, Michael Albertville and Wayzata.
And for Maple Grove, they've going through a little bit of growing pains. Numbers maybe not quite where they'd like them to be. And they've got a couple of guys out here tonight too, but still some bright spots along the way. Max Johnson, one of their captains, is a sophomore, and he's potentially could win his 100th match here tonight, and to do it as a sophomore is a pretty good accomplishment as well. And obviously both these teams get up for when they face each other too. It's a lot of guys that you grew up going against or wrestling with in the room, and in fact we even have a set of brothers who are one's on one team and one's on the other, so it always is a big night, even if one team is down a little bit compared to the other, which obviously is sometimes going to be the case. Yeah,
it's like you said, Jay, when you have a rival school, it's just a few miles down the road from you, it's bound to be a rivalry, and it is for pretty much every sport between these two schools. Maple Grove just 4 wins on the season right now, but when you wrestle your rival, you try and get up for this match for sure, no matter where the standings are, what the records are. So, I think Osseo probably can expect their best effort tonight.
And obviously the nice thing too about wrestling, as we've talked about in the past, is even if the team score isn't necessarily close, you've still got an opportunity to win your own individual match, or maybe even if you don't win, if you come out and really show tough against an older guy or more experienced guy, it can still be a great learning experience for you that way too.
That's the neat thing about wrestling is there's team points involved. So say you're outmanned but you don't get pinned, or maybe you only lose by a few points, well that saves team points for your team as well. And on the flip side, if you get a pin or you get a technical fall, that's better than obviously a decision. So there's ways to look at it from that vantage point. Even when you lose, sometimes you win if you help your team.
All right, we'll take a timeout and come back as we get set to hit the mat here. It is Osseo and Maple Grove Wrestling, and it's next on CCX.
I don't think we're free in this country. For 100 years, you saw black people menaced and targeted and lynched and beaten and brutalized. I think we're burdened by this history. More people have to be willing to do that uncomfortable, inconvenient thing that justice requires for things to get better.
Truth can inspire change. Learn more at EJI.org.
And welcome back as coaches and captains out to do the coin flip here this evening as the Orioles and the Crimson get set to do battle. St. Francis also part of this try. We will not have that one for you on TV, but the Osseo Maple Grove matchup. And John, obviously things being done a little bit differently this year. The masks required for the coaches and the smaller groupings out there for the coin flips and all of that kind of thing too. And but so far, most people are feeling pretty good about what's happened and been able to get through the season for the most part without a lot of big breakouts or anything.
That's good to hear. And you hope they can finish the season. It looks like right now that's going to happen. So hoping they keep it going. I guess you got to stay safe to be able to play sports this year. And keep it going.
So we start at 106. Jamie Kulseth for Osseo. Evan Kilgard for Maple Grove. Evan, an 8th grader. Jamie, also an 8th grader.
Kind of a front headlock there for Kulseth. Kilgard not able to do a lot in that position. A little bit of a kind of a freestyle front headlock move, and Ruff is going to stop it here and restart him right in the middle. Shot by Kilgard. Again, that kind of front headlock Kulseth has here in the battle of 8th graders. Kulseth trying to come around and able to finally do that. First takedown of the match goes to Osseo. Evan Kilgard, 8th grader from Maple Grove, trailing now 2-0.
Kulseth has won 8 matches on the varsity level this year and lost 11. Probably came in maybe considered the favorite. Kilgard was listed as, on the JV for Maple Grove, but they moved him up into the spot. They are going to have a couple of open weights coming before long here for the Crimson. So
yeah, he's got that single arm bar. Does Kulseth on Kilgard? That's a pin. Locked it up real nice. Single arm bar.
So Kulseth getting the fall at 1:20, and Osseo will take the early 6-0 lead as he's able to put Kilgard away. Maple Grove will be open in the next match.
113 for Osseo.
There's that arm bar. You can see kind of a single arm bar. The thing about that move is you can move it to either side, and here he kind of took him the one way, has him stacked up. It's a pin for Jamie Kulseth.
For the Osseo Orioles at 120, Alex True. And for your Maple Grove Crimson, senior captain Eddie.
So it'll be Alex True for Osseo, Eddie Kilgard.
Very quick takedown. I think that was within a second for Eddie Kilgard.
Yeah, he's one of the captains for the Crimson. You can kind of see he wants to, okay, let's get this thing turned the other direction here, as his team gave up a pin and then a forfeit, so it's 12-0, but Kilgard coming out strong here early.
Yeah, quick takedown. That was about 2 seconds into the match, then kind of cuts him loose. There's a little head shuck. Gets behind 4-1. Now the captain from Maple Grove leading. Dominating early. Maintaining pretty good hand and wrist control here. And turn him over. Nice little move. And he's got True in trouble, the freshman here on his back. Kilgard's at least got 3 near fall here, but he's looking for a pin right now, Jay. You can tell he's close. And that might be it right there.
A lot of time to fight it off, and he's not going to be able to. Eddie Kilgard will get the fall at 57 seconds for Maple Grove. And they get on the scoreboard as he came out and kind of set the tone early, got that early takedown, and obviously senior against freshman. He wanted to show well there.
Yeah, nice pin here for Eddie Kilgard. He's got to work some over. He's got kind of that half Nelson on right there. There was a lot of time for True to try and fight that off, and a couple nice takedowns, and then eventually he gets the pin right here.
So we go to 132 now. Maple Grove was open at 126, so Connor Spanier getting the forfeit win for the Crimson, so they now lead 18-6. So Hollingshead and Ben Schultz, the 8th grader for Maple Grove. Hollingshead, a junior for Osseo, and he's had 6 wins on the varsity level this year.
Schultz, though, in a nice single. He can finish this, and he does.
Ben Schultz, an over 500 record this year, and his older brother is actually going to be wrestling in a bit for Osseo here. So,
well, speaking of the rivalry, there you go, right? Brother versus brother, not on the match, but team-wise for sure. Nice takedown there by Ben Schultz on the single leg.
Coaches were kind of
work him over.
Yeah, they were kind of joking that at least the parents each can go to the same gym tonight.
Well, somebody's going to win, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing at least. Schultz right off the snap here, breaks him down. Got Hollingshead flat on the mat, right in the middle. Trying to maintain that wrist or hand control. You can see it right there. He's got a 2-on-1 ride. Trying to break him back down the mat, get him flat, work for a pinning combination. Sometimes you see these matches too, Jay, where you have a junior or senior versus a 9th grader and 8th grader, and you kind of think, and we saw that in the previous match with Eddie Kilgard, experience and just, I think, development is a big deal. But, you know, sometimes you get an 8th grader like Ben Schultz, who's got confidence, and he's got some strength already, and he's got good body balance, and he's not real phased to be out there against an older wrestler. I suppose that helps having an older brother who's a pretty good wrestler as well.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when you crack the lineup that young, it kind of means you've been wrestling for a long time too, which isn't always the case with the older guys. I mean, it's different than it used to be, where you look at the history of Osseo, where they were going to put a guy who'd been wrestling for a long time on the mat at every weight class. That's not the case anymore for a lot of teams, not just Osseo or not just Maple Grove.
Yeah, it's interesting to look around the state and see that too, you know. You have teams like an Osseo section, St. Michael and Wayzata, where that is still the case. You still have guys almost every weight that have been doing this since they were in kindergarten or first grade, and they stuck with it, and they've enjoyed it, I think, for the most part, and they've gotten to the point now where they're cracking varsity lineups earlier, and they're meant to be there. That's probably the case with Ben Schultz here too.
First match that we've gotten to the end of the first period. Schultz with that early takedown leads it 2-0. He'll start on bottom here. Quickly gets to his feet, and
at least an escape, but that's going to be a nice little toss. He's got Hollingshead in big trouble here.
Got the reversal
early
and near
second.
fall coming. Trying to adjust that grip a little bit.
That's close. You can see that left shoulder blade is very close to being pinned. It's not quite there. Schultz is in a great position here to get 6 more for Maple Grove. Hollingshead, I'll tell you what, there's some strength there because I don't know how he's keeping his shoulders off the mat.
Purely with bridging.
Yeah, he's. I'm impressed by that. He's still in big trouble here, though. He's got about 1:20 to go, unless he get off his back. That was kind of amazing. I didn't know early on how he was going to fend that off, but that was a nice bridge.
3 back points makes it 7-0, but I agree. I thought the odds were pretty good. He wasn't going to survive that. Now he still might get in trouble again here as he's being cradled up, but you give him credit. He didn't just relax and let it happen. He fought it off.
Yeah, I thought early on, right when that little toss by Ben Schultz, that was going to be a pin right away. But some guys are they got that leverage or strength. It's just enough. They're going to go off the mat here in a second. And the ref will restart him with 39 seconds to go here in the second. Ben Schultz, impressive-looking 8th grader. The commanding lead. Maple Grove could use a pin here.
Yeah, with the open weights they have, obviously it's going to be tough for them to really stay in this one team-wise overall. But, obviously every little bit you can do would get 6 instead of 3 or 4 would be big.
Escape there for Hollingshead. They'll make it 7-1. Schultz trying to go a little upper body here. They go off the edge of the mat. They'll restart.
A stalling caution there, too, for backing off the mat.
Now, some refs will call that pretty quick. Single leg shot there by Schultz. Going to kind of switch it over. Double right there. And he's going to get 2 right before the end of the period. And at the end of the second, he leads 9-1. At this point, that's a major decision. That's 14 points when you win by 8 or more.
Hollingshead will choose down here. Sorry, John. And, Schultz right now is definitely looking for major points. I mean, he's not going to be happy even with just a major, I don't think. He will let him up to start the third and try to go back to work from the feet here.
Yeah, nice little move right there. But he's going to slip. Hollingshead in position right now. If he keeps turning, he might get 2. Ref has not called it yet. Still letting this play out. That escape, that makes it 9-2, but Hollingshead is going to get 2 back. So 9-4.
Yeah, that didn't work out quite how Schultz was intending there, and I bet he wishes he had it to do again because he was just a little bit off on that shot, and it just multiplied into bad position.
Yeah, and you get at this point in the match, you get a little bit tired too, and Sometimes guys can get a little bit sloppy. He's going to get a reversal here, though, if he pops his head out. That's going to put it at 11-4. Now he would need one more point for a major decision.
Now 11-5 as he lets Hollings head up.
Schultz kind of shucks right by. Ooh, got kind of that was a flurry of activity with no points as they go off the edge of the mat, but could have gone either way there for a second.
Schultz might have gotten a little impatient there. I think he was really trying to more or less hit a home run, go for a 5-point move, and instead slipped off.
Yeah, he did, and he's been aggressive, which is good to see. Hollingshead, I give him credit. There was early on last period, I thought this match was over, so he's kind of hanging in there. A little toss there off the edge of the mat. They'll restart. Both these wrestlers deserve credit for pushing it here in the third period. Ben Schultz probably thinking about trying to get back to a major decision if he can, but Hollingshead being aggressive, taking shots. Schultz is in good shape to come around here for two more. At least he was for a second. Kind of lost that leg. Hollingshead gets behind him. If he brings him down, he might have two.
Off the mat they go, but yeah, Schultz, it looked like he was in position to at least get that takedown there, which would have pushed it back to 8-point lead. Stall and caution this time on Schultz. I think he might be gassed a little bit.
Backed up a little bit, yep.
10 seconds, all that remains. Looks like Schultz is going to win it, but Hollingshead, as Jad said, heck of a job to fight his way off his back and stay in this match. And not only stay in, but keep it to just a decision. 11-5 win for Schultz.
Yeah, you can see there was a time in that match where it looked like maybe a pin for Ben Schultz and it looked like he'd at least have a major decision. In the end, you got to give Hollingshead credit. He hung in there against a pretty good wrestler, and that ended up being a decision. So just 3 team points for Maple Grove, even in the win.
So this should be, on paper, maybe the best match of the night. John Lundstrom for Osseo. Max Johnson, a sophomore captain, looking for his 100th win, a career win for Maple Grove. And he's not facing any slouch by any means. John Lundstrom's 15-4 this year. And I saw him a couple weeks ago give wrestler Wong from Wayzata a really good go. He ended up losing, but Kyler Wong's a very highly rated guy, and Lundstrom hung with him.
Yeah, there's a shot by Johnson. Nice shot. See if he can finish here. Got a single leg, and ref says they're off the edge of the mat there. He'll restart them.
Yeah, in terms of experience level, this is maybe the closest matchup possibly.
Nice
on
double
paper.
leg takedown, almost like a tackle. Beautiful double leg takedown by Max Johnson.
So Johnson will go up 2-0 here.
Look at that shot. Nice drive, head to the outside, double leg takedown. That's how you do it, kids. Good technique on that. See if Johnson can do here with 1:10 to go in the first period, leading 2-0. Osseo, and these weights coming up for them, I mean, this is where the kind of the strength of their lineup kind of begins in some ways too. They do have some nice wrestlers in the lower weights, but here you start to see a couple rank wrestlers coming up as well.
Lundstrom gets the escape there, and now they're off. So a 2-1 lead for Johnson. 45 seconds to go here in the opening period, and it has been a good one, as we expected.
A flurry of activity there, and they're going to go off the edge of the mat again. Gonna restart. 100 wins as a sophomore is pretty impressive. You've had to have been on varsity basically since 7th grade. Another shot there by Johnson, not able to finish. Now Lundstrom trying to come around, trying to head shuck. Now he's in on a double. He's going to get not quite finished here yet. There it is, 2.
So Lundstrom surges into the lead with a late takedown here in the first.
Looked for a second like he was thinking back points. Didn't quite happen. 3 seconds left. Johnson was probably thinking escape there to tie this up, but he'll trail now 3-2 going into the second.
And Lundstrom took a quick look up at the time, and he made sure that he held on to that enough to keep him from getting that escape late. Another look at that takedown by Lundstrom.
Yeah. So he got taken down with the double leg, then comes back with a double leg of his own. Nice finish. Lundstrom looks like he's going to get an escape here. That'll make it 4-2 now. The junior from Osseo, leading the sophomore from Maple Grove. Two nice shots, though, Jay, by both wrestlers. Double legs. Really well done. There's another one. It's going to be a single here for Johnson, but he's not quite able to hang on to the leg.
I like the way they've both been aggressive but not careless. I mean,
right.
they're wrestling well in terms of, defensively also. Sometimes it's fun to see the serious shots all the time, but it's also you kind of respect when a guy's able to fight him off and keep his position and everything. Johnson looked like he got dinged up a little bit. He was checking
the eye,
his blood.
like, yeah. Hopefully he's all right. Yeah, both proving they're solid wrestlers on their feet. And you've seen a couple times, too, where Johnson's taking a shot at Lundstrom, and Lundstrom's able to counter in a couple different ways. So they always just tell us when I was younger that if you can be good on your feet and you can get away from the bottom, that's pretty much all you need. You don't have to be a pinner to be an effective wrestler and get a lot of wins.
About halfway through the second, still 4-2 Lundstrom. There's Johnson
nice single
a shot.
leg. Let's see if he can finish. He's got to get up off his knee there, though, not able to do it. Lundstrom, nice job of sprawling out. And again, he counters. Now he's reaching for Johnson. They both have each other's legs here, which is an interesting spot. Lundstrom with that leverage just keeps coming around, Jay, and another takedown for him. He's got to come off the legs of that. Yep, that might have been a stalling call if he hung on too long.
Lundstrom now up 6-2 after a fast start by Johnson. He's kind of trying to take it to one of the Crimson captains a little bit here. Johnson still got plenty of time to try and battle back, but I don't know that he was expecting to find himself trailing at this point in the match by 4.
They're both solid wrestlers. Lundstrom using his leverage in a lot of smart ways. He's got trying to get a little arm bar going here, but he's going to run out of time. Able to get Johnson his back, but they go off and also the clock runs out. So 6-2, Lundstrom, the junior from Osseo, leads the sophomore Maple Grove captain, Max Johnson. Might have some blood time.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. It looks like the lip. Yeah, the lower lip was bleeding a little bit there for Lundstrom. I think both guys, breathing a little bit heavy, too, at the end of that period. I don't think either one probably minds a very brief respite here for that blood time.
It's been a fun match to watch. They've both been very aggressive. It looks like Johnson's going to take both up here. An interesting call because he's been taken down twice, but both guys good on their feet, you can tell.
Yeah, and I think he maybe was feeling that, he didn't want to waste. He maybe would have been able to get out normally. You choose bottom and get out and then go for your 2. But I think with the score where it is, he's feeling like I want to get right to it.
Yep,
and
that's a good point.
Not have to, maybe eat up 30, 40 seconds just trying to escape.
Exactly. And you can see here they're kind of tied up. Lundstrom in on another shot. In fact, he's close to getting another 2, and he's got it. 8-2 now. He's opened this match up a little bit.
You know what Lundstrom's done well too, John, is kept his body tight to Johnson when he takes these shots, so he's not allowing him a lot of wiggle room to try and get out. He's done a nice job of body positioning and just kind of keeping that forward pressure on him.
Yeah, and he's using his leverage here to try and lock up a cradle. A little bit high. Johnson, chance for a little bit of a Granby roll or something there, but didn't.
Yeah, I think
not able to execute.
I think Lundstrom realized he wasn't in the greatest position there and kind of backed off on that because you're right. He was close to putting himself in a bad spot up too high there.
Another blood time out here for Lundstrom. Yeah, great match though overall. I mean, the score says 8-2, but we've seen since you and I have been doing matches, these two on their feet. This has been very impressive to watch. Two very good wrestlers. In the neutral position especially.
Only about half the third period to go here. It'll be interesting to see if Lundstrom just kind of tries to ride him out a little bit. Or
yeah, at this point he might. It's Johnson in almost on a switch there for a second, not able to capitalize. You go under 40 seconds now. It is an interesting position. You might be thinking about getting a major decision, but at the same time, should you be thankful you're ahead 8-2 over a wrestler of this caliber? And the answer is probably yes, if you can get a win here, however you do it. And there's an escape. So that gives Max Johnson a little life here with 20 seconds left only, though, 8-3. He's got to do something quick. Nice, quick takedown by Lundstrom.
Wow, that was impressive.
And
Make it
looks like he's
10
going
to
for
3.
half. 10 seconds to go. He may not get a major, but he'll get a big win. He's been very impressive in this match.
Time will tick down, and it is Lundstrom with a 10-3 decision for Osseo. As we said, probably the best matchup on paper of the night, and it goes Osseo's way. Lundstrom has got to be happy with that victory against a pretty good opponent.
Yeah, very impressed with John Lundstrom on his feet. A couple nice double leg takedowns. There was a nice little single. Even when Max Johnson got some good shots, Lundstrom was able to counter. And an impressive win.
So we have Dylan Schultz now wrestling for Osseo, a former Maple Grove wrestler, going against Charlie Richards in a matchup of seniors and Dylan Schultz.
Nice toss. Lateral drop. You might get a quick pin here. Very close. Dylan Schultz had a 5-point move to open things up, though, 15 seconds in.
Dylan ranks 6th at 145 in Class 3A, and he's showing why here early in this one.
Yeah, and he's got a pin right there. I think the ref's going to see that. Those shoulders look like they were down. Very close if it isn't already. Nope, you can see his left shoulder blade still a little bit up. There it is.
And Schultz will get the pin at 40 seconds for the Orioles. So
both
they go up now
brothers get wins tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
Two different schools,
yeah,
but both get wins.
At 152 for Osseo, Dylan Jackson.
Good wrestlers like Dylan Schultz, they just kind of know, they kind of work the guy against where his base isn't and his post isn't, and just kind of work him in that direction.
Here we go to 152. Dylan Jackson for Osseo and Charles Lagama for Maple Grove, and Jackson already has Lagama in some trouble.
He does. Nice move right off the top. Lagama here might be pinned right there. Ooh, looked like he was for a second. Jackson just trying to kind of ease him right to his back with both shoulders. Lagama strong enough to kind of, at least so far, fight it off. 5-point move. Here's a half. Jackson had that half in deep for a second. He'll be up 5-0 early. A pretty good position here as Langama flattened out pretty good. They're going to go off the edge of the mat here, I think, in a second. Ref's going to let him wrestle a little bit more. Jackson's feet were still in bounds. Now they break it, and they'll start it again. We'll see what they do here. You can see right about here. It looked like right there. Langama's pinned right there almost, but not quite enough. Not quite enough. His shoulder came up. So 5-0 lead. Let's see what kind of pinning combination he works for.
Yeah, sometimes you see in a match where early on it looks so easy, then you think, well, he'll just get it the next time. And sometimes, it doesn't always come around in the same as easily as you think.
Thread the needle here, and this will be a tough one to get out of for Langama. Kind of goes underneath the arm and throws on a half. Has his arm locked up behind his back, and that's a pin. Nice job by Dylan Jackson.
Yeah, he just kind of went out and took care of business there. He just went out and got after it, and the first time around, Langama survived it, but not the second.
Yeah, Langama did a nice job fighting that off initially, but not able to do it there, like you said, Jay. And 6 more now for Osseo. They lead 33-9.
Go to 160 here. Caden Williams, a state qualifier last year for Osseo, going against Mason Carter, a senior for the Crimson.
There's a shot. right away by Williams is in on that leg. A single. He's got his head to the outside, though. He's got to try and finish the switch to a double, or... Oh, he's in a little bit of trouble there.
And Williams will end up getting the takedown after it looked like he was going to be taken down.
Williams getting some back points here, kind of crossbody rides him over.
Nope, didn't quite have enough of count. So stays at 2-zip for the moment anyway.
Carter, nice job there fighting that off. Luckily, he broke the play, and there's going to be some back points. A cradle for Williams.
And he's got to be close to
that
pinning
left
him
shoulder,
here.
rather, is up still a little bit for Mason Carter, but not long enough. There are drops. That's a pin again for Osseo. Another one.
Third in a row here for the Orioles. Caden Williams gets it done against Carter, even though Carter came out with a pretty good early shot, but Williams didn't let it phase him and gets the pin.
That makes it 39-9 now for the Orioles. A nice cradle there for Caden Williams.
So we go to 170. Senior Thomas Cornell for Osseo. Senior Mitchell Feinberg for Maple Grove, and an early 2 here for Cornell.
Quick takedown rather for Cornell.
Cornell a little over 500 this year, got 10 wins.
He's looking for a cradle here. He's got that cross face on, trying to lock it up. Feinberg trying to fight that off. Cross face, he sticks with that. Kind of in a corkscrew position here. He's trying to come around the other side, but hang on to that. And he's going to have Feinberg in a little bit of trouble. It looks like there might be some back points. You can see that plane, though. He's perpendicular to the mat. Now he's not. Now Cornell getting back points. Might get a pin here. He's close. And there's another pin for Osseo.
This one coming at 58 seconds as they continue to not just win, but pin. 4 straight pins now for the Orioles. And it doesn't get any easier coming up because Osseo's got some good ones coming.
Yeah, Thomas Cornell there, he had that crossface on. He could do a lot with that. And the cradle locked up initially and then came back the other way with what we used to call a corkscrew. Not sure what they call it on Osseo's team, but it works.
Go to 182, Aiden Wayne for Osseo and Landon Dillon for Maple Grove. Wayne is 15-4 so far this season. Dillon is a strong kid, but a freshman. So Wayne have to be considered the favorite, I would think, in this one, but we'll see what Dillon can do. A little bit different body types. Dillon, a stockier guy.
Yes, strongly built kid for sure. Wayne with a lot of leverage, longer and lankier. He's got a single leg on Dillon. And able to take him down the mat for 2 points. So the junior leading, trying to lock up a cradle now. Years ago, we used to watch Osseo wrestle. They were big on the power half. They would throw on a leg and then try and half it over in that position. And I always thought that was a great style because even if you don't get a pin, you really crank on a guy's neck, and that really wears him down over the course of a match. See a lot of cradles tonight, a lot of crossface situations.
Yeah, and sometimes you kind of just go to what works first, and then and so many of these matches they've been going up against some relatively inexperienced guys, so they end up getting the fall without maybe needing to show their whole repertoire too.
Yeah, there you can see Wayne. He had that arm bar, able to work Dillon over. He's going to get back points at least out of this. He's going to run out of, no, he's got him in trouble here. Dillon's got about 8 seconds to fight this off. See his right shoulder, no, not quite.
Got the pin with 4 seconds to go in the first period. So Aiden Wayne didn't want to be the guy who broke the string there as he keeps on going and gets the pin for Osseo in the 182-pound match.
series of pins. I think, is that 5 in a row, Jay, or 6? 5. 5 in a row for Osseo. 30 points in the last 5 matches.
So we go to 195 now. Julian Flores, a senior for Osseo, going up against Zach Nash, a sophomore for Maple Grove.
These guys right now, they're kind of bullying each other right in the middle of the mat. Nobody's taking a shot, but you can see the legs wide open if somebody wanted to take one. There's a single leg there, double leg even.
Flores has got 5 varsity wins this season. And
see a lot of locking up there, moving the head around. Flores kind of just trying to bull into Nash. There's a shot by Nash in a Kelly position. Flores trying to kind of underhook him. Might come around and get 2. There, he's got it.
Flores scores the first points of the match. He was trying to throw that half in, and it just didn't quite work, but he did a smart thing to at least get behind him for 2.
Yeah, he's trying for a half Nelson here. Here his coach is saying, get out. He's got to be careful he doesn't put a full Nelson on Nash here. That would be loss of a point, and there it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got it.
He's going to give up a point. That's an illegal move. You can't half him from both sides, creating a full Nelson. That's dangerous for the other wrestler's neck.
So score the point there for Nash. Make it 2-1.
And I think they're going to opt up here, so that'll be another point for Nash, which ties the match now. Osseo coaches, I think, feel like Flores is more comfortable on his feet.
2-2 score here late in the first.
There's a shot by Nash. He might get a nice double leg takedown here. He's close. There it is.
And now make it a 4-2 lead for Nash of Maple Grove as he's able to get the takedown right at the edge of the mat there too.
He's trying for a little bit of a half. On the wrong side, Flores, nice roll. He's going to have at least 2 here. Trying to get back points. Oh, he's got Nash in trouble.
Final seconds of the period. And he'll get the pin with 2 seconds left. Wayne got it with 4 seconds to go, and he'll get it with just 2 seconds remaining in the period.
You feel bad for Nash because that was a rough little twist. He got a nice takedown and then a beautiful roll by Flores, actually. And then from there, it was downhill for Nash. He's able to just kind of muscle him over. You can see it right there. And that shoulder's going to touch right there. That'll be a pin.
Jacob Meisner for Osseo out there at 220. Zeth Petrie for Maple Grove. Petrie a sophomore. Meisner ranked at 182. He is ranked 4th in the state and a state place winner last year.
Yeah, one of Osseo's better wrestlers and pretty good lineup for them, so that's saying something. Quick takedown here for Meisner. And nice little tilt roll right over here. That might be 2. It looks like the ref's going to give him 2 on that. A 4-0. Cuts him loose. I'll make it 4-1. 40 seconds into the first period. Meisner in on a single. See how he finishes. Switches to a double. Takes Petrie right to his back for a second. No back points, though. Quick flurry of activity for the Osseo junior. 6-1. Now cuts him loose 6-2.
Kind of get the feeling that Meisner wants to get a little mat time in and work on a few things here that he maybe could put him away, whenever he wants, more or less.
Kind of a little duck under high crotch move, switches to a double. That's a takedown, 8-2. That'll be some back points. That might be a pin right there. He's close. He's got him in trouble. A Russian Turk type of move.
And Meisner will get the pin for Osseo. Minute 30. Time of that one. So we're speeding through and up to our last match of the night here. as we go to heavyweight.
Despite what the scoreboard indicates, and then 63-9 now for Osseo, but yeah, there have been some entertaining matches and some flurries of activity. A series of pins for Osseo, but some of the matches that have been decisions or come down to it, they've been fun to watch.
Now another stud for Osseo, Jagger Shack out there against Luis Harrow in the heavyweight matchup. Shack figures to go down to 220 by section time. He's ranked 3rd in the state at 220.
Yeah, quick takedown. Nice movement here by Shack. He's definitely nimble for a big guy. He's going to get a pin too. Another pin for Osseo to close it out.
So, not a bad way to end the match there with 8 straight pins for Osseo, and they will roll to the victory here over Maple Grove by a score of 69-9. They're going to go get that Drogemuller Cup off the score table there, as these teams have been wrestling for that over the years. Of course, former legendary Osseo coach Ken Drogemuller, the late Ken Drogemuller, did so much for wrestling in the area, and it is Osseo defeating Maple Grove for the 3rd consecutive season now. And not unexpected as they came through and rolled. You know, John said a decent match or two as Maple Grove got a couple of wins at 120 and at 132. But nice, you know, kind of a tone setter for Lundstrom. It wasn't part of the pin brigade, but beating Max Johnson at 138 for Osseo, and then they just kind of steamrolled from there.
Yeah, and we talked about it before the match started. Osseo, as their lineup goes on and as they get in the upper weights, they're solid. They're a very solid team. That Lundstrom Max Johnson match, that was fun to watch. 2 guys very good on their feet. Lundstrom using his leverage and a series of takedowns. Did a nice job. Got a big win for Osseo there. You know, Maple Grove rebuilding, but a couple of their younger wrestlers, you know, and they are young, you know, they've got some potential there to work with.
So that'll do it for our match here tonight. Best of luck to both of these teams the rest of tonight and also the rest of the season, and we hope we see them again come section time. It is Osseo rolling to the victory over their rivals from Maple Grove. 69-9 Orioles the final. For John Lauritsen and all of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Maple Grove.